Mate, I can't wait. Need for Speed 2019, E3 2019. No, sorry, not happening. At least in the way we normally expect it to. E3 is coming up, as we know. We get excited, we get hyped, we get to see the games that are coming out towards the end of the year and beyond, usually. More so beyond. We expected Need for Speed to be announced during the E3 period, which is actually at EA Play. As you may not know, EA split off and did their own show, and that's why they don't really call it E3, it's EA Play. EA Play is an event that is actually free to go. You can go if you are just a consumer, you want to try out the games. If you're in the LA area, I highly suggest you do so, because again, tickets are free. But as we already knew, Sony pulled out from doing E3 this year. They're not having a conference this year, and they're still going to have games that you can play and stuff, and they're still going to have a presence there as such, but they're not going to have anything announced. And the reason for this was actually because we imagine the consoles, the new consoles, the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox whatever, will be coming out next year. Microsoft is still having a conference. They do have a lot of games to show in terms of coming out this year. I imagine they've been working hard to get the Xbox One as a state of we've got games. But then following that information of Sony not being there, a little while later actually, we hear that EA is obviously not doing E3, but they're not doing E3 in the normal way. They split off and did their own event a while ago, which was EA Play, and they had a conference just like they did at E3. This time what they're doing is not having the one conference, they're having multiple live streams throughout the first 2 days of the event in what seems to be an experimental type way to see what people think of having more full-on detail about upcoming games, more diving into exactly what the game's about. If you care about the game, you'll see it. If not, you don't have to see it. It's a new test on the formula. I personally love watching E3. E3 is my favorite time of year, getting excited for all the games coming out, getting to play them, obviously hands-on early content for you guys to see what they're like, my thoughts and opinions. But obviously, this kind of was expected to me. I kind of saw something like this coming. I saw a mass of people saw that in the industry there is no particular reason to do E3 over anything else. Obviously they can announce games throughout the year. This to me is a step in the direction of moving away from E3 entirely and possibly making it so that in the future we won't have E3. We will have multiple events throughout the year where they announce games or they announce specific games just full out, and there's the full details. Nowadays it would probably make sense. It seems like more consumers than press are watching E3. E3 used to be for the press to get all the information out, and it used to be a big combative space. It makes sense then to in the future move away from that formula and basically have multiple streams throughout the year at some point. But again, EA Play, just so you know, it's multiple streams for the first 2 days. Multiple streams throughout the year that reveal specific games, like the Battlefield streams we've seen. We've had Sony make their own PSX, which moved away from Gamescom. Sony doesn't really have a conference. Not many people really have conferences at Gamescom anymore. To me, it makes sense. It's a step in the direction of, if you care about this, you'll see it. It's more consumer focused than it is PR focused. If you're PR, it makes it a little bit more annoying to keep up with everything, but that's your damn job, so get on with it. I, for one, am excited because that means, for more point to the video, Need for Speed 2019 is going to get its own, I imagine, dedicated live stream that's going to give us much more detail than usual about the game, giving us much more in and out about what this game is trying to do, opposed to, here's a trailer, get hyped, done. We'll probably get a trailer earlier, more so maybe as normal with 2015's teaser trailer drops. We'll get the little trailer telling us a lot about it, and then we'll get the full detail about what this game is about, why they're doing it like this, everything like that. As I said, I for one am very excited for this change in formula. Will it work? I don't know. Maybe it won't work and they'll go back to the normal E3 conferences as of norm for the next year. Is this Sony pulling out of E3 a bigger deal than we think? Maybe it's not just because of the console coming out next year, and it's not because they don't have many games to show for this year because they've already been announced. Maybe it's because they want to pull away from E3 as well and make their own thing to make it how they want and make the event even better. How many people tuned into the official Xbox reveal, the official PlayStation 4 reveal? A lot of people. They can pull in numbers on their damn own. They don't need E3. But basically, this means that we can expect much more content around the E3 time, fingers crossed, and we can get more to the point, and we don't have to watch the games necessarily with the EA conference we don't care about. But this also makes me think, how do they do new reveals? How do you reveal new unannounced games? Maybe there aren't any, and this is the reason for it. Maybe this is the year for the testing, because most of the games they could potentially announce, new IPs and all, would probably be on the future generation consoles, which is probably coming next year or the year after. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Will you miss watching EA's press conference? It's not been great the past year or so, but it does usually have some cracking games. I'm looking forward to seeing how this plays out. Are we going to see in maybe a few years time, maybe a couple years time, maybe next year, that we don't necessarily have the confidence formula like we used to, and throughout the year we get announcers of games, and maybe that's just the way we go. I'm intrigued, I'm interested, because at the same rate, yes, you get to miss out on the things you don't want to see, but at the same time, you may miss out on the things you weren't wanting to see, which means you might struggle more to find new IPs that you like and stuff, which is something E3 definitely helps for me. It lets me discover new things that I necessarily would have ignored, so that's another counter argument. Anyway, be sure to smash like, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you in the next video. As I said, description, comments, let me know. Peace.